What is up, team? Welcome back to the Red Storm Rap Reaction Podcast. I'm Pat Kane. I'm joined once again by my good friend Cole, and we're here to celebrate some big-time recruiting news by St. John's. Four-star, small forward, Jaiden Glover out of New Jersey, the Patrick School, no affiliation, Cole, signs to St. John's and Rick Pitino. Just a few weeks after the Chris Ledlam news, Rick Pitino strikes again. Cole, how you feeling tonight?
Rick Pitino is the gift that keeps on giving. What has it been, Pat? Like 6 months? If you could take me back 7 months ago when the previous regime was here, in my wildest dreams, you couldn't tell me that this was going to be the case, that this is how happy we were going to be with our program. But
the summer has flown by, and I think a lot of that is accredited to just the good news that just kept coming for St. John's. I mean, from like the midway through June through the end of to now, it's just been big-time recruiting news, and it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime. So, the regular season is really what matters, but I'm not complaining about all this good news that seems to help the time pass by. And not only do we have this big-time news about Jaiden Glover signing, but we also got news that we don't have to wait as long as we thought to see this team in action, with the news that they would be playing Rutgers in an open scrimmage, an exhibition to raise charity. So double good news for St. John's in this past week, and perhaps some more news coming up with Maker on his visit, rounding up. I think he finished yesterday, so maybe news on him soon. We'll see.
Big man, shot blocking extraordinaire.
Yeah, he looks like he could really defend, and he's got supreme length. I'm not sure how much his offensive game is there yet, although on some of the highlights it looks like he's got a good touch. But with the guy that size, you'd figure if he was a stud offensively, he'd be, his ranking would be quite a bit higher. So that's just, my perspective, because he looks like he's got all the tools defensively, and he's 7'2", like you said. But anyway, we're here to talk about Jaiden Glover. Cole, you were, before we started, you were kind of banging the drum saying how much you liked him. Obviously, anytime you sign a four-star recruit, it's big time. Anytime you're able to get another local guy, a New Jersey recruit, that's big time as well from St. John's perspective. Let me get Cole back on the screen before the fans start a riot. Perfect. Here's my newest graphic for Jaiden. He's a 6'6" small forward, four-star recruit from the Patrick School, like I said earlier. He's an elite athlete with great defensive potential. I think he could guard anywhere from the 2 through 4 kind of comfortably, and perhaps he can even expand that as he gets bigger. He's got that rangy build and that physicality to him. He's a second four-star recruit to sign from New Jersey under Coach Pitino. Simeon Wilcher just a few months ago was the first. He can play multiple positions. He's physical, attacking the basket. He's also a quality shooter from 3. I think he's a two-way player who will have the chance to play immediately, and a building block for the future as well, who should thrive on the wing next to Simeon Wilcher. Cole, anything to add here on Jaiden?
Yeah, well, first off, for those of us that watch the 24/7 commitment stream, he's obviously a gym rat, keeping us till 9:30 at night because he was in the middle of basketball practice. So you already got a point in my book for that. But yeah, he's a late riser. He's really been playing his best basketball within like the last 9 months. They mentioned again on that stream that he really first broke out at the DC Hoop Fest. He played great at the MBPA Top 100 camp. Pangos, Swiss Army knife was the way he described himself. Shooter, and the ability to finish at the rim. His shot, he can like shoot off the catch or off the dribble. His handle is like really underrated. I did, just looking at some of his game logs with the Patrick School, I did notice like 2 games against pretty good competition. He scored 20 against a Camden, New Jersey team that was with DJ Wagner and Aaron Bradshaw. So that's some really like high level talent that he was playing against there to put up 20, and 19.7 rebounds, 3 assists performance against a player who he'll be familiar with now as a new teammate in Simeon Wilcher and Roselle Catholic. So, those are 2 pretty good schools to put up those types of numbers. I think really like the only thing you really read about him of areas where he's going to need to put in some work is really just getting into a college weightlifting program and putting on some muscle and really learning how to lift weights. He's already a big kid at 6'6", 190, but has one of those frames where you can tell he can put on some muscle. And Pat made the great comp when we were talking before about talking about DJ Kennedy and sort of that same type of body, maybe, put on some weight and like really become a real banger with some great shooting ability. And he really has a great defender, an ability to one of our favorite phrases, Pat. What is positional versatility? Is that
Got
our favorite phrase
it.
under Rick Pitino? His ability to defend sort of like the 1 through 3, maybe again, if he puts on a little weight, could maybe even become more of like a stretch 4 at times when we go small lineup. So yeah, I think he's another complementary piece that will fit in great with the rest of the roster next year. And Rick, you can tell what his type of player is that he likes, what he's trying to build with. And that's guys that can shoot, that are willing defenders, and can sort of play multiple positions. So yeah, great addition.
Yeah. And like you said, like guys who live in the gym, and I didn't get a chance to see the interview by Jaiden. I plan on checking it out later. But to hear he was in the gym practicing today, that makes sense. It's fitting, kind of, to circle back to how much Coach Pitino has stressed that as a need for him when it comes to players he's targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jaiden played a heck of a competitive level of competition in both high school AAU circuit, so he'll be very familiar to high-level basketball. It'll be interesting to see if we get the Pitino bump in recruiting rankings that a lot of the elite schools and coaches seem to get once a player signs there. In the past, folks have joked that St. John's would recruit a kid and then his ranking would slip a little bit if he were to commit early. But we'll see if Jaiden can perhaps jump up from that 60 to 75 range up into the top 50 range. And go from there. Either way, he's the same player we're getting, so I don't really get too caught up in those rankings. But it'd be nice for those who do care to see that that rise, and obviously, I'm sure it'd be nice for Jaiden himself too.
Yeah, and the interviewer did mention during the stream tonight that sort of keep the eyes on the rankings, as he had just performed so well lately that it would be likely that he would be moving up a little bit from his current. I think he's 77 on their rankings right now, which, I mean, that in of itself is already like a quality addition to
sure, yeah.
Kid. And
I mean, I would live in that range. Like I'd have no problem if we lived in that top 50, like 50 to 100 range. That's a high level basketball player who oftentimes will lead to be good, multi-year players. And if you can't get into the top 25 to 40 range, then so be it. You build with transfers, you build with multi-year guys, and I wouldn't put it past Pitino from snagging a couple 5 stars here and there either. So it's certainly exciting. It's certainly a change of times and a change of pace, and it's just one after the other, like dominoes. He's just been setting them up and knocking them down, and it's exciting to see where it's going to go from here. Speaking of setting them up and knocking them down, I think the first recruit St. John's got when Pitino first, took in a bevy of transfers was one Dennis Jenkins, who recently was declared eligible. There was an article this past week from who did I say it was Zagoria, Adam Zagoria, I think, who quoted Pitino, and Pitino was extremely high on Jenkins and how much he means to this roster. Almost made it seem like he was invaluable. Of course, any coach is going to talk up a guy in a situation like that, but he knows Jenkins extremely well, and Jenkins is the lone player looking to get, serious playing time this next season. That was part of Pitino's system in the past. So that point guard coach relationship is one thing. It's another one where they got some experience together. And I'm certainly happy that Dennis is back on the team. Let's pull up the old the scouting report we had when he signed. In case those forgot, Dennis last year for Iona, he averaged 15.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 42% from the field, 36% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. His 4.9 assists to 2.2 turnovers were better than anyone in St. John's last year. His 27.9 assist rate was the 110th best in the entire country. He had 5 games versus bigger conferences and averages of 14 points, 4 assists, 3.5 rebounds, 1.6 steals, and a 24-9 assist to turnover ratio, which is just ridiculous. Dennis is another guy who has quality size, can shoot, but like Coach Pitino mentioned, he seems to be the only guy who's really has the inclination to get guys going before getting himself shots, and that's a huge part to me in what makes a quality basketball team a quality basketball team. Having guys willing to share the basketball and get other guys open at the expense of their own shots. Cole, any thoughts on Dennis?
Yeah, obviously it was something we were waiting on and anxious about. So great to finally get the information that he was going to be eligible and that we're good to go. Obviously, you slot him in as the day one starting point guard. I think at some point, I know I've said this on our previous conversations, but I think Simeon Wilcher could potentially take that over just because of the level, the high quality recruit that he is coming in. And maybe that would happen before conference play if he really shows what he can do. But I think Danis's familiarity with the Rick Pitino's program, like that's invaluable. Obviously, the numbers he put up last year, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those were the best numbers of his career playing under Pitino. Yeah. So
he had 2 years at Pacific. I think he averaged 11 points his second year there, and then he had a great year in JUCO. But by far his best year in D1.
With Pitino, the ability to take care of the ball, like that assist to turnover ratio that you have against the bigger level conferences from last year. I mean, those are eye popping numbers. So if he can shoot at a high clip like he did last year, if he can protect the rock, then you're in. Like Pitino said, create for others, then you're talking about a great point guard to have to start our season with. And what just a veteran-laden team that we'll have for Rick's first year to sort of smooth the transition into the new Rick Pitino regime. It's just super exciting. And I'm glad we have sort of a veteran guy to run the point, to sort of run the show for us. So,
like you mentioned, experienced guy and experienced team. It's almost though like a extremes. Like it's an oxymoron in itself because you've got so much experience, 5th-year, 6th-year guys. Pitino himself has, a wealth load of experience as a college coach, but it's so little experience together. Like, so you're getting that maturity, and a lot of that is a big part of experience. But we don't have much experience playing together, so it's not exactly the same thing as having, a team like we had with Lavin's first year when we had 7 seniors who had played together for 4 years who, on average age and average playing experience would be much less experienced than even this team. But the days in the gym and the growth together means a lot, I think. So it'll be interesting to see. And I love the fact that he's going out there and has some big matchups early. This Rutgers game, albeit an exhibition, gives him a great chance to see his guys in a live type atmosphere. And then Michigan right after that. So I'm excited, Cole. I know I'll barely get sleep between now and now October 21st, but I'm looking forward to it. Any closing remarks from you? Anything you're looking forward to?
Wake me up on game day. Like wake me up. Well, let me just sleep until then.
I want the prediction right now, Cole. Who's winning that exhibition game? They're keeping score.
Oh, we're taking that. There's no question. Rutgers is in big trouble. Dude, and I think I mentioned it right when in our first podcast, right when Pitino was first hired, I was really excited to see the type of level of players that Pitino could bring in after having a year of building relationships with local programs and with local recruits. And to see a kid like Jaiden Glover now committing, I think that is just the beginning of the type of quality recruits we're going to see coming through this door. I love, like I said before, having a veteran-laden team this year really gives us high expectations of what they can do in his first year. But then having all those scholarships come off the books opens up the ability to recruit the high school level, or maybe potentially some impact transfers that can see that they would have playing time coming in next year. So to have Jaiden now on board, I think is a tremendous start to this recruiting class, along with Lefteris Leotopoulos. So
let's not forget.
Let's
not forget him. Yeah.
I think the future's bright. The current status of the program right now is bright. And could we ask for a better coach to be leading this program? I don't think so. So
exciting. So exciting. Can't wait for more. I'm sure we'll be back here sooner than we think, talking about some other big news. Until next time, Cole, thanks again. For Lou Carnesecca, this has been Pat Kane. That's Cole Latshaw, the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. Peace.